So today I'm going to be using my new Tim Holtz Crazy Birds stamp set. Now, I actually started doing this before Vicky Papanu's video came out, and I couldn't believe how similar our techniques were. I hadn't finished it by the time I saw hers, and I did pick up one great tip from her. But I'm using something from my stash, which is my rule for this journal, and that's this napkin, and I love it. And I decided to cut it in half and just put it in across. Now I'm deciding that I'm going to put some sprays in and just gradually colorize the napkin up. I felt that it was too bland in the background, and you can see how the gel, the matte medium that I used to put the to glue the collage the napkins down has made an impact and formed a resist for those sprays, and I'm just drying them all off. Yes, I loved watching Vicky's video on how she's using the Tim Holtz birds. I had gotten mine before she aired it, and I had already had a yen to colour them in. I'd already done some with coloured pencils, and I had a yen to use them with inks, and she used some distress inks, but I'm using Stampin' Up! Inks for mine. I already had decided to use some manila, and I've got a whole packet of manila files. This is something else from my stash that I'm not using, so instead of going out and actually purchasing you know, tags or manila sheets or whatever and paying an arm and a leg for them, I'm just using manila folders and cutting them up, and they are far cheaper from the office supply store than they actually are from Ranger, I find anyway. And I did pick up a tip that I'll show you later on from Vicky's video as well, so I did learn something from hers, but I couldn't believe that we were doing something a bit similar. Actually, I've seen another one even since then, a page I think on one of the Documented Life or something like that, that's similar again. So it looks like, I just think that's funny that a number of people could be coming up with something similar all at the same time. And like I said, 90% of this video was filmed before I even watched Vicky's video. But I'm using my Stampin' Up! Inks, and I'm deciding that I'm going to use darker colours around the outer edges and lighter colours around the tummies, or I'm going to alternate them and blend the colours together. One thing I like about Stampin' Up! Inks is they blend together really well and form different types of colours. So if I use a red and a yellow, it'll make an orange. If I use a yellow and a pink, it'll make an orange. And I just there's only one bird that I didn't use, and here we go here. I just wanted a really pale blue for the tummy, and I ended up using a Versamark, and it was a chalk ink. And you can see it's slightly gone over and obscured the black. And I'm sorry, some of this, a little bit of this is off camera. I kind of lost count of where my camera was, because I had a lot of open ink pads and applicators all over the shop while I was doing this, and I kind of just got closer and closer into myself and forgot where the camera was, so I'm very sorry about that. But you can see him there, he's just really cute. You'll see him on the page anyway. He was blue and yellow, but you can see how the blue and the yellow ink has made a lovely green for him. And I had the same idea. You can see how this napkin is sitting there and it doesn't go to the top, and I thought to myself, I'm either going to do a branch and I'm going to have what's under the branch and what's above the branch, and I thought that would, then I thought, no, I'm going to do a wire, but I'm going to do like a barbed wire almost, sort of like an Australian barbed wire fence. And I'm using my keyboard here to look and see the sorts of sayings that I could put, because I wanted to put something a little bit cheeky in, and I was just researching that while I was thinking about how I would do this. So it looks a little bit like barbed wire, and it's got some bits and pieces hanging off it like you would find in an Australian fence. And I'm just fixing up the edges on the pages with a little bit of glue or matte medium. So as I'm getting near the end of the book, I really have to think about making it flat by propping it up. So I'm just organising where the birds will go, and this is the trick I picked up from Vicky. She then stamped them again because of course you can't cut out those spindly little legs, and I realised afterwards that my line was too high up to really get those legs in, but and you don't really see them anyway. But if you were doing this and little curls and their little tufts above their heads, if you were doing this and your line was further down, you could put the legs further up and you would really see the detail, because when you cut them out, and that saves you with your fuss cutting, and have a look, you've lined them up and there you go. They look like they're all the one image, and I think that's a great tip for this kind of thing. And I am not a very long-term, I've been stamping for a long time, but I wouldn't call myself a stamper. So I'm sure, absolutely sure, that stampers and card makers would know this trick, but it was something new to me and something that I really, really appreciated, because I have a lot of stamps that are really, really, really fiddly. And I remember sitting there cutting out gift boxes as a stamp and putting them on Christmas cards, and they had all these curly twine off them, and I physically cut all those out one year, and now I'm sitting there going, I didn't need to do that. Funny that. You can just imagine, can't you? Yeah. Don't these look really cute? So I used a white Signo pen to wipe their eyes in, and I'm going to get a fine marker, fine liner, to actually go in and redo some of the black ink, because I think with some of the inks that I've used, the black ink has been covered up and you want it to actually look quite black. So I stuck in some, this is out of my stash as well, and I had a couple of sheets of these really, really cute butterflies, and they're on foam dots so that they stick off the page, and I just thought, oh, I'll use them out of my stash because I think they really kind of go with this, and I really like it. It's a really quick, easy thing to do, and I didn't have to draw them or paint them or mount them or stamp them or colour them. And sometimes I just like to use things out of my stash like that, and they make a bright, colourful, fun page. And I think Tim Holtz's Crazy Birds lend themselves to fun and colourful, to be honest with you. They look like they have incredibly fun personalities, and I can just imagine the sorts of things that they're talking about or thinking or chirping to each other about. So I'm just finishing off the detail with that fine liner, and I'm going to get a marker in and do those beaks. So now I'm getting my Stabilo All Pencil 8046 it is, and I'm just going around and doing the marker. I started doing the shadows, and then I thought, oh no, I need to go and do the marker. I need to go and do their beaks and feathers and bits and pieces. So I'm going and doing shadows around all the elements, and now you can see me putting those shadow lines in so that you can really, it really makes those elements that it's around pop. And then I decided there would be a light source, so I decided to only water activate half of them on the right for the birds. And there we go. What a cute little page. See you next time.